Alright, let's talk about the woke mind virus, or the gay agenda, or in bulk, what is commonly referred to as like the left movements within right wing circles, right? Specifically, like the ultra Trump MAGA circles. So, as someone who is just a little flamboyant, just a little touch of the gay right in there, I'm going to be completely honest. We're coming for your kids. We fully endorse young indoctrination. We want them to know that, yeah, sex is a thing. No, it's not just between guys and girls. It can be guy on guy. It can be girl on girl. It can be that mysterious non-binary. Oh, what are they? On Oh, what are they? Part two. It can be a guy who wants to be a girl on a guy. It can be a girl who wants to be a guy also on a guy. The woke mind virus is more what we call human rights because all of us are human, right? And, well, the reasons that they promote about the woke mind virus normally are along the lines of, oh, but it'll end reproduction. Oh, but they're pedophiles. Oh, but they're a bunch of child groomers. Problems with being outside. Now, the biggest problem with the woke mind virus, right, with having an open mind to foreign concepts, that Republicans seem to have is the idea that, oh my gosh, people can be different. People don't have to fall under the utilitarian command structure that we've set up over these centuries. It's more that, like, subconsciously, it feels more like they're losing power in the right rather than, oh no, these leftists are destroying humanity. It's, yes, those are their talking points. Yes, what they say and promote is along the lines of, oh, this is a degeneration of a culture. Oh, this is where things are going. What's actually going on in the right's mind normally, like the ones who promote and have been creating these ideas, they're more along the lines of, oh no, the power structure that we had that kept us in power, us straight white men, they're falling apart. We're no longer in power. Most of these MAGA Republicans start off with a massive, massive, raging us versus them mentality. And that kind of mentality is hyper destructive because it's breaking things down into groups much too easily. You can vilify a community much in the same way that Nazis persecuted Jews during World War II when you break it down into an us versus them. Because I bet you at the beginning, everyone in Germany had that, oh, I've got a Jewish friend. But, like, oh, I had dinner with Suzanne and Joel 2 weeks ago. I didn't know anything wrong, but slowly, as things progressed, even if they were neighbors, even if they were the closest of friends, there would be this problem of we have to vilify them. Now, the reason this is such a problem is because, specifically with the current issues we're seeing, the the heavy right Republicans, the MAGA group, is going after trans and gay rights, trying to like make them the villains. Um, the recent mass shooting in, I want to say Tennessee, don't have it off the top of my head, to the church school done by that trans girl. I don't remember what their gender was, but that shooting done by them. Republicans, immediately took to their cameras, to their news outlets, with lines going, hey, it's because they're trans. This trans person decided to go shoot up school. It must be because they're trans. Which, in and of itself, is a problematic way to look at things. That's ignoring the 300 some odd other mass shootings that have happened in America, done by straight white men, promoting alt-right, MAGA philosophy. A good example of this is the most recent mass shooting at the Texas Mall. I can't say most recent, they happen every day here. But the big mass shooting out in Texas, done by the guy who had the Nazi tattoo, who had the right-wing death squad tattoo, and promoted and watched all of these right-wing commentators who, realizing that this guy was a massive promoter of the right and massive endorser, these right-wing media pundits immediately started to say things along the lines of, oh, this is a plant, or, oh, but we don't endorse this, and immediately started defending themselves without anyone accusing them of anything. It was just being pointed out as a correlation, meaning that to some degree they are aware of the fact that their views do have an antagonistic and violent way of expressing themselves within the right people. To call out January 6th as just a small example of this, because, I mean, in reality, that was a small example compared to some of the other right-wing mass shootings that have happened. The entire political discourse right now about trans rights and gay rights, and like Republican versus Democrat, right? All of this comes down to the Democrats are not afraid to let things grow, let things change. The Constitution was designed as a living document to grow and progress as society grew and progressed. Look at slavery. However, Republicans enjoy status quo. They fight tooth and nail every time there's a shift in the status quo to not allow the shift. Not recently, but in the past couple of years, there's been a massive shift away from racist talking points, because even these right-wing media pundits are starting to understand that, oh crap, we can't attack black people anymore. They can't be a target because everyone has just someone of color in their life that is not only beneficial and good and helpful, but just a kind and compassionate person. They can't vilify them anymore because they're too integrated into society. Now, the problem is that they've shifted their targets to now a new demographic, claiming it's for the safety of the kids. So all these trans bills and anti-trans healthcare and all this stuff that the right has been promoting and pushing and legislating out definitely falls more into the trans groups. It's a much smaller demographic of people in America versus just black people as a whole anymore. So now what we're seeing is that shift from, oh, he was black, so that this mass shooting happened because he was black. And now it's getting more into the, okay, this mass shooting happened because they were trans. Or, well, they're going after our kids, trying to make them trans. When, in reality, our talking points fall much closer to, we're not trying to make your kids trans. We are trying to help kids understand that there are trans people and that being trans isn't a problem. It's who you are. We're trying to help them understand that we're not trying to indoctrinate them with the idea of being trans. We're trying to open up the books further to show them the possibilities of being trans. It's for right-wing Republicans who might be watching this, I don't know. It's more, you've been reading the Old Testament of the Bible your entire life, and this is actually a good parallel. It's like the Jews when Jesus came out. They've been running with the Old Testament, all of the scrolls, all of the stuff from Moses and Noah, and all of those documents. Then when Jesus came, they were like, oh, who do you think you are trying to teach this new way? The Pharisees of the Old Testament, or the Pharisees of the New Testament, probably fall heavily into the right with their stagnant, let's keep the status quo kind of thing, because it would destroy their power. So nowadays, instead of keeping the books strictly to, well, there's men, there's women, and they get married, and they have sex, and they have kids, and then their kids do the same with other people's kids, right? We're trying to open it up to, like we're taking the blinders off, because there aren't, even historically, there's been gay people since Rome, and this isn't a new thing. It's not even new to being widely accepted or widely popularized. It's just here in America, and under the current regime, their power system is controlled by straight white men, and we're trying to shift the power away from that. Not because it didn't work, but because if it can be better, why won't we make it better? And allowing people to more freely express themselves and be more comfortable. This is a bettering of society. Yeah, I mean, I've got more points, but we'll have to scene change for that. So hold on to your balls, grab your hats, because kids, we're going over some anti-right-wing trans propaganda. Wait. But, I'm starting to realize that these shifts are going to be a little harder than I thought. Alright, so, to delve into some pro-trans statistics and numbers. Not that I have them memorized, this is just loose facts that I've got rooting around in the noggin. Because, to start with, most studies show that a high number, it's in the upper 60s to 70% of trans people, kids mainly, are suicidal. Between the bullying, between feeling out of place, between feeling uncomfortable in their own skin, there's a mirage of reasons, but there's a large number of trans people who are suicidal. And so, talking about just one reason, one good reason to give trans healthcare and like trans affirming, like gender affirming care, is that it will keep kids alive. I don't see a reason to go past that, but since most Republicans ignore that fact or pretend to not hear it, let's go further. So, one of the main talking points of the right is that we're mutilating children's bodies. Like, we promote the mutilation or like physical sex change of kids, which is like a blatant lie. Like legally and medically, we don't provide those surgeries. Like doctors and surgeons don't provide those surgeries to people until they're 18. Everything done before that is reversible if they so choose. Hormone therapy, where it's just, oh, okay, you want to be a girl, all right, we're going to give you the girl hormones to replace your testosterone. We're going to give you estrogen instead of testosterone, which, that's interesting enough. The right seems to ignore that. They like to make the claim that it's child mutilation and that trans affirming healthcare is a form of almost child abuse. There was a bill passed out in Florida in which parents, like divorced parents, if one parent who resided in Florida believed that their kid was going to be treated with hormone therapy, could legally abduct their child and have their like child's legal residence changed to Florida, and there's nothing that the other parent could do. This is genuinely just legalized kidnapping put into bill form by our the 2024 presidential candidate Ron DeSantis, but before he gave up like governorhood to go run to be president with that bomb of an introduction going on Twitter. I don't know why anyone would trust Elon Musk right now after he just wasted $40 billion trying to buy up Twitter. But yeah, it is legal to kidnap a child if they are perceived to be under the threat of receiving gender affirming care. Any form of gender affirming care, from hormone therapy to hormone, or not hormone, but like gender affirming doctors and therapists, it is seen as child abuse. It's in, I think, 12, 13 different states already that child abuse, like it is seen as child abuse to have hormone therapy, and like residents can go to the police, call the police on that kind of treatment of a child, which demonstrable, like genuinely a horrible thing. We are in Nazi level of, oh, is your neighbor? You come tell us. We'll take them away. You can do that to trans kids' parents now. Like, oh, this parent is like reaffirming their child's gender. All right, take them away. The parallels between modern day America and where Nazi Germany was during World War II is genuinely terrifying. But that's just dumb little gay teenagers' views on this. And see, the other thing is, none of this has personally affected me. I'm just gay. I just don't care what's between your legs as long as it can be me. I'm not trans. I don't have to suffer through any of this. But there are people suffering through this. That's the problem. The goal of this is to spread like awareness towards the problem, because there is a problem. There is a group of people being attacked and vilified by a massive group in like right-wing communities, and it needs to be brought more to attention than it already is. Right-wing people need to start understanding that the legislation being passed is genuinely villainous. Like, for parents and grandparents, your kids and grandkids might be trans, but just too afraid to tell you because what are you gonna do? They don't know. You watch Tucker Carlson. For all they know, you could go like turn them in. You could go like you could end up killing them if you're like crazy enough. Because did you know that 70, I don't have the statistics in front of me. Again, I'm randomly filming this outside. But I think it's about 70% of child death happens by parents. That percentage has gone down because of mass shootings recently too. It used to be higher. But who's to say that a trans kid might not be the next one? Anyway, this is literally just crazy teenagers ramblings. So I promote sucking dong and just date whoever you want. Be happy. Live a good life. Yeah, I don't know. Put this wherever you want. It'd be funny if you put it on your Facebook where all your like grandparents watch and everything. But yeah, all right. Uh, suck some dong.